I'm strategic planning, so I work with the senior management team about where are we headed, our vision and mission, and our strategic growth ambitions. And then I actually get to run Nasdaq Next, which is our innovation program. So really putting those pieces together and enabling the culture of the organization as well as the employees to help us drive new growth opportunities. One of my favorite experiences, and we call it the possibilities engine, so that also shows you how we're trying to think about new ideas and the possibilities. But one of my favorite experiences thus far is actually from a service function from our legal group. They actually proactively came to me and said that they wanted to use the platform at their offsite and do an ideathon. So we actually did a rapid sprint in 2.5 hours where we had teams go from ideation to selection at the end of that 2.5 hour sprint. So we did everything from ideas being put on, collaboration, voting. We even did mini 2-minute pitches to the crowd. So we took offline and online combined. And then we did a pairwise vote with that group there, and the committee selected a winner by the end of the experience. So it was quite fun. This year has been a transformational year. We're really focused on driving that culture. So we actually want to make sure that our employees are engaged, that they do see themselves as contributing to the story, to our growth opportunities. So we've done a lot to make sure that there's education, awareness, communications, and hands-on approaches so that they feel like they too are having impact on the overall growth of Nasdaq, and they're not just on the sidelines, they're in the story. Then we realized there's two sides of innovation. There's the sustaining innovation as well as disruptive innovation. So by putting Nasdaq Next in place last year or the year before, we really have been able to have a common language and think holistically about innovation, and that truly is driving a cultural shift. Tying innovation and strategy are vital. Innovation and strategy are very much aligned for us. That's one of the things that I think is most important for me, is that you can have technology-led innovations, you can have customer-led innovations, but a lot of times if you're not thinking about where the organization is headed and what opportunities, what core competencies that you have, you can go down paths that are just not going to be the results that you want to have. And so the great thing of being able to articulate the strategy, have growth pillars, have thematics, it really does help in focusing the ideation. The metrics that we focus on right now are engagement and shifting that mindset in our culture, and are we having impact. But then yes, we do have a portfolio of initiatives that we're continually looking at and evaluating and making sure that we're putting the right dollars in the right initiatives. And I think in some ways the most right now is that we did shut down a few after continued evaluation and seeing that we were in saturated markets or not seeing the results after a certain time, or better yet, lessons learned about partnership and collaboration or customer want. So I think actually one of our best success stories right now is shutting off funding of these sponsored initiatives before it got too far. And then so that gave us lessons learned for future investments as well. I find that sharing and being in a community like Spigot gives me that boost that I need sometimes to keep going, because usually it's a unique role within the organization or a very lean team. So you want to connect with your peers, you want to share templates and tools and best practices and stories, because you do need that encouragement, you do need that sense of belonging. I look for reciprocation and being able to connect with Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer and others that are maybe even further along than I am in the journey, as well as making sure that there's partners and other opportunities to think about here.